like a Hellcat.
Hi guys, welcome back to Chess Story. Today I will be showing you a game which was played between Vishnu Anand and Caspro. They both are really famous grandmasters, and this is a game which was played in many years ago. So let's just start, shall we? So white is Anand and black is Caspro. And why I am showing this game is because this game, Vishwanath Anand takes Kasparov's Black King in 12 moves. You will see it soon. So e4, c5, Sicilian, knight f3, d6, d4, c into d4, knight into d4, knight f6, knight c3, protecting the pawn, a6. Now this is known as Najdorf variation in Sicilian, of course. So in these places, instead of playing a6, they can play a lot of stuff like e6, bishop to like g4. But this is a side variation some of them will play. So of course a6, f4, which is kind of a necessity in most Sicilians. If you have to play f4, so that is when. And if white ever plays f4, you have to play e6, or if you already played e6, you should play d6. For example, the line in which I play, which is Sicilian Khan. Sorry, something happened. Okay. Which is Sicilian Khan. We play e6 instead of d6. In that case, if they play f4, you have to play d6. That is kind of like a necessity. So bishop to d3, just development and protecting the pawn. NBD7, castle. So now there are a lot of moves which black can play. Bishop to e7, but he plays queen b6. Now if you can see this diagonal, the queen from a7 to g1 diagonal where the king is there, there's no defense. So easily queen can attack, which is alright. He played bishop e3, which is Anand, sorry. Queen into b2. This actually, the A, B, C pawns of both white and black are considered to be poisonous points. So is F, G, H if you are castling queen side. So those are considered as poison pawns because whenever you take them, you have to make sure that your piece which you are taking it with does not get trapped. But of course, Anand is a grandmaster. He won't fall for queen into b2, easy pawn. So he of course kept a trap. So queen into b2. Now if you play directly rook to b1, he can move queen to a3 and then he can bring back the queen. So no use in playing that. That's why Anand makes the sacrifice and b5. So now the queen cannot run, from b, and you are also protecting the a3 square. So of course a into b5, you play knight into rook to a5, because he can't move anything else. You play rook to b1, and over here Kasparov played rook into b5. But instead of that, if you ask why should we give the queen, if you play queen into a2, knight to c3, now the only moves queen to a3, for that rook to b3, and the queen is trapped. So he played rook into b5. For that, rook into b2, take the queen, of course, queen to a1. So now if you see, that rook is also trapped. In this position, if you see this position, you will say that black is winning. Because you have two minor pieces for two minor pieces, which is bishops for bishops, one rook for one of their rooks. Then they have two knights and a rook for a queen. And according to chess, if you have a knight and a bishop against a rook, the knight and bishop is better. If you have two rooks against the queen, that is better. So now black is better, and he of course has better structure, pawn structure. So and yeah. So q into a1. Now there's no more places to go. You could argue that he can go to rook to b4, but q into c3 and back there. If he takes that piece, that is trouble. So of course Kasparov saw that and he played rook to b6, which is giving up the rook for a bishop. So bishop into b6, knight into a6. For that q into c3, which is trying to play knight q into c7. For that he plays bishop to e7. He is allowing the q into c7 because if he plays that, he can play nf d7 and then followed by castle, and then the queen is kind of like there instead of doing anything. So that will not be good for the queen and it can also get trapped. So he plays rook to b1, which is trying to attack the knight. He plays r of d7, I mean n of d7. For that q into g7, you can over here if you played q into c7, they can just castle and their position is fine, but your queen is not really in a safe spot. So of course Anand sees it and plays q into g7. For that black plays bishop to f6. He can't move anything else like rook to f6, I mean rook to f8. That is really not that good. So bishop to f6, q to f6 because that's the only place to go. King to e7, protecting the, for example, in this place, if he played anything else, you can just play rook into b6. He has to play knight into and q into f6. And as I told you before, two minor pieces are always better than a rook. So he saw that and played king to e7, bishop to b5, which is, attack. Rook to g8. Now the king file is kind of damaged. If he is able to get any pieces out, then the king might be in trouble. So rook to d1. The plan is to simply attack the d pawn because that is a backward pawn. He plays e5 for that f5 because you should not hit because knight into and then he has, as I told you, knight to f3. Those are all attacks. But he saw that and this is a blunder. So knight to c5. So Kasparov actually said that he underestimated the power of the rook in d1 and he completely forgot about the move rook into d6, which is what Anand plays. And now you cannot hit king into d6. If you hit it, then q into f6, king to c7, q into f7, and you are getting back the rook somehow. Rook in g8. So over here it will be clear winning for white. That's why he did not play. That's why he did not take the rook in d6. So he counterattacks by playing bishop to g5. For that, Anand plays q into h7, attacking the rook, and he plays knight into e4, rook into b6 because that's a free piece. He plays rook to d8. Plan is to mate in back, and of course Anand sees this and plays bishop to d3, and Kasparov sees that he is giving rook, so bishop to e3, king f1, rook, bishop into b6. Now bishop into e4, rook to d4, and then c3. Kasparov actually resigns here because if he plays rook into e4, we can play f6 and the king is under check and next the rook is going. So Kasparov actually resigns, and even if he does not take, still it is a rook and a bishop for a queen, and that is practically a win. So he resigned, and yeah, this is the game. So hope you guys like this. I am planning on opening a Twitch account. If you guys don't know what Twitch is, it is like a streaming platform. Instead of me like recording pre-made videos, I actually live stream there, which means I will be playing there and you guys can come and join me. I will create it in a couple of days, weeks. I mean a couple of days, not in weeks. but I will let you guys know my name, and if you guys want to come chat with me or even play with me, you can go to the Twitch account, and when I create it, I will give you the links in the bottom in the description. Actually, I'm not going to lie, I did see this from a YouTube video, so I will put the guy who I saw from in the links in the description. Go check him out. Go, of course, do things. Go help him out. He's also on another chess YouTuber. So hope you guys like this video. If you guys like this video, hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. And if you want notifications, hit that notification bell. Thank you so much guys for watching. See you guys next time. Bye.